guys, I am Chris Kaler.
And I'm Amber Kyuujin, and today we are back on guys with Band of Brother, episode 2.
I forgot to check the title of this episode, Day of Days. So last episode we were introduced to Easy Company. It will be hard for me to remember all the names. They went through hell. What?
It's Easy Company.
No, it wasn't easy for them. They went through hell under... He became captain, so I'll call him Captain Sobel. Herbert Sobel. He was just, determined to have the best company there was, have the best results, but to achieve that, he pushed them so hard, they all hated him. And not just pushing them hard, like he looked for trouble, he looked for things to, be mad about.
He was on a power trip, so to say.
But then when it came down time to, further the training and do exercises, his leadership did not follow everything else he taught them. So he was not up to par. And at one point he just, he went too far. And this guy that we like, Richard Winters, I think.
Yeah.
He was looking for stuff to just be mad about. And it ended with Winters being like, okay, you know what? Instead of getting your punishment, I'd rather have, go to be court-martialed. So let them decide. So some of the officers were like, you know what? Nope, I'm not following Sobel, especially if he's gonna get us killed. So they rebelled. Yeah. And Sobel ended up being sent to an academy far away from everything war right now.
You're good. You're really good for teaching.
Yeah.
Not for leading these men.
So now Easy Company is about to be parachuted down on D-Day. Their job is to help capture, I think it's a town or something, in between the two beaches that are gonna be raided. So yeah, we gotta make it easy and link the two beaches. Alright, this is pretty much where we are. Let's jump in this episode, see what happens next. Don't forget to subscribe if you want to see more of these. Check out our Patreon for the full-length reactions, and please indulge us, we are both sick. We might sound weird.
Alright guys, in the meantime, let's go.
Standing in the door, I could see the lights on the drop zone. And I had to assume that was our drop zone. So when the plane started to get hit, and suddenly the pilot gives me the green light, I'm out the door.
I wonder if we're gonna start, it looks like we're gonna start every episode with this.
With them?
We came from the sky, we hit, and in any direction you went, there would be enemy, you knew it. How do you prepare yourself? Mentally? Each man must do that himself.
All that, you've been trained and trained and trained, and what your job is going to be, and what you're supposed to do. That's what you got to think about.
Yeah, but the theoretical is different from the practice,
I said it last episode, the jump itself is fucking dangerous, but you put yourself in these conditions, and it's the shock of first combat, first time you see it.
If you make any mistakes, it's over for you.
Or you could lose people, And atop all of that, I would hate to be a commanding officer that has to keep them calm, focused, when you're freaking out too. Anything that can go to shit will go to shit. So for my own sake, I'm gonna assume that Winters is the guy we saw in the beginning, and he makes it. Okay. You gotta jump in that.
No, thank you.
Let's see if you can even jump. Ah, fuck. Got all the parachutes, it's fucked up. Oh, fuck. You fucking jump. I guess that's why you train so much, because you gotta do this in the dark, blinded by all the fucking bombs, and instinct has to take over.
I don't think that's the correct reply, trooper. Say flash. Say fire.
Yes, sir. Coach? Sir, it's Hobbs.
Quickly like that, you know who reminds me of?
Whom?
Moriarty in
Yeah.
Sherlock.
Yeah.
Oh shit, no.
Aren't you D Company? Able, sir. Guess that means one of us is in the wrong drop zone, huh, sir? Or both of us.
It's
Do you
mayhem.
have a weapon, sir? Just my knife.
Fuck yeah.
I wonder if the rest of them are as lost as we are. We're not lost, Private. We're in Normandy.
Yeah, but where?
Where in Normandy, yeah.
I guess keep the, you know, the hopes high as much as possible. The guy looks so young. And like realistically, in the dark like that, you wouldn't see shit. How do you recognize an ally or an enemy before you get shot?
Who's that? Lieutenant Winters? I got us this knife and some TNT. These 82nd boys got there in Monzo. 82nd? Where the hell are we? I saw a sign back that way. It said San Maricles. Flashlight.
Hey, not dumb. I knew we liked them for a reason.
We're about 7 kilometers away from our objective. We're 4 hours away from when we need to have it secured. We got a lot of walking ahead of us. You men will stick with us until we find your unit. If 5 of us ain't gonna secure a road, then we don't even have a weapon.
Yeah, but no, they went through hell. They're prepared. They gotta do their job.
If you can go through solo, you can go through anything.
Flash. Thunder.
Yay!
Lieutenant, is that you? Good to see you, sir. Hey, fellas. Is everybody okay? You in the hall up front. The hell is hall?
I think they technically went through the same training, but since it's not the same company, or they would not understand each other's calls, each other's names, like the confusion would be intense.
Wait for my command.
He said wait for his command.
You gotta listen to command, man, even if you're freaked out.
That's the guy who lost his brother, right?
Wait for my command. You wait for my command, Sergeant.
Right?
I don't remember his last name, maybe.
Well, it looks like
He
him.
would have, if it's him, he would have been pissed. Thank you, I felt so bad for the horses. He would feel so fucking pissed at Germans for killing his brother. So yeah, he'd be out for good.
Gonorrhea.
Really?
His name, dummy. Garnier. Gonorrhea, get it?
So besides having a shitty name, what's his problem?
None of your fucking business, cowboy.
He compromised them and he started something without the say, so I would be in my right to ask if I was there. Just saying. Gotta work with the guy, you know.
Yeah, you don't want him to be a liability, right?
You see him? He just sat there.
He can have a weapon. What's he gonna do? Shout at him?
Shouts at me for killing Krauts.
He just wanted you to wait for his command.
Joe, he don't even drink.
Don't judge him.
Because he don't drink.
And he's got all of you, you know, under his command and stuff. He's got to look out for all of you. He can't make hasty decisions. Kind of like you did.
Anybody need supplies or ammo? Now's the time to get it. McDowell, you okay?
Yes, Sergeant.
Well, let's go.
Isn't that my Wahlberg brother?
I read that he was in this, so... And he looks like him so much, it's hard to miss.
Yeah, I promised my kid brother I'd fetch him back a Luger. So I got first dibs, okay?
It's the Navy.
The landings have started. Let's go. Right on time. Tell that to him, cowboy.
My name's Paul.
That's so. He's got to learn to return his fire, is all.
Just gotta realize it ain't about you.
His brother got at a casino. Found out before we jumped.
He's in a shitty mood.
Yeah, but his mood has no place on the battlefield.
I agree, but in the way... Oh, he's already stressed, but you add all of that to it.
Sure will be happy. Top of the morning to you fellas. Enjoying the war? Where are you from, son? Eugene, Oregon. You gotta be kidding me. I'm from Astoria. Let's say. Yeah, what gives? What are you doing in a Kraut uniform?
Volksdeutsche. My family answered the call. All true Aryans should return to the fatherland.
What got you to Eugene?
I was born in Eugene.
That's the thing. You got people from all over who had to return because country or family called. Yeah.
But that's what happens when the world gets divided like this. Sometimes you have to choose a side.
90% of the men are still unaccounted for. Lieutenant Mia? I've always seen him, or anyone from this plane. You know, if he is missing, wouldn't that put you in line to be the next commander of Easy?
And he burned, so...
What are the chances of that, huh? You and me, 100 miles from each other, working at practically the same job. Jeez.
Hey, Malone! We're waiting on you.
Yeah, I'm coming.
See you around.
It sucks because he is a prisoner of war. There's a good chance he's gonna get killed.
Cigarette? Here you go. Nothing like fire.
And he could still turn on us. Like, we don't know. He's the enemy.
He was born in the...
Shit.
It's war, man.
Yeah, but when people are captured or they...
It's still war. You don't always take prisoners.
Hey, Malak, where's the best chow? In Berlin.
There's some crowd 88s up ahead and to the right about, 300 yards? Now, they're right between us and causeway number 2, firing onto the boys landing at Utah. Think Easy can handle it?
Yes, sir.
How many crowds do you think we're facing?
No idea.
A lot.
All right, let's pack it up, boys.
No, look at him. Is
It's him! It's him!
I was wondering, sir, you need an extra hand?
Ain't you 6 Jeep driver?
So?
You're with me, Lorraine.
Compton, second squad.
Another thing that sucks with being a higher up is that you never know when you might just be bumped to the next grade and have to now take all the decisions and be responsible for everything that goes wrong. And you gotta be ready for it anytime.
3 cannons. Draw their fire to the right from the truck. Take 2 men and hit them from the left. Okay, go.
Take Randy, envelop right, give covering fire. I want that TNT as soon as you see we've captured the first gun. Go.
Please, everyone, listen to the orders.
Well, I'm looking for Garnier for that.
I can't see nothing.
Be careful to not get shot at.
Yeah, you're kind of vulnerable. I said it last episode, but the stress level when you understand that if you mess up, thank you, if you mess up, it could be someone else's life or your own. And like I said earlier, anything that can go wrong will go wrong, so... fuck.
Oh, fuck!
What about you bastard, Joe?
Oh, shit. How bad is it?
I don't think it's too bad.
You have lost everything.
You don't have an ass anymore, you're flat.
1 o'clock!
Oh, shit.
Let's go, get out of there!
Oh, God. You're still fine. You're very lucky.
Grenades first. And keep going. Go. Right.
Don't fuck up with the grenade again.
He got the brass knuckles he wanted.
Take one of those dead crabs as a loser! Keep your head low, Teddy! Come on, move it! Christ, they must think he's a medic or something! He's gonna need a goddamn medic!
Dude, it's not the time. You daredevil, man.
Got you freaking look.
Oh! Ready, sir! I don't have any way to set it off, sir!
You gotta make do with what you have. They got great plans on the fly. Like they come up with great strategies.
Fire in the hole! Okay, Hall. Keep your head down!
Can you think how they shot this?
Handheld camera, run.
Fire in the hole!
It's one of our guy, right?
It's Hall.
Moriarty?
Like everyone seemed to be lucky, and it looked like everything was going well. But then, yeah, no.
TNT! Now I need it!
like me in a video game, just running for it.
Started playing again Call of Duty World War II recently. This is yeah, very similar to how my game has been going.
So then you just say fuck it.
Yesterday especially I was like, oh fuck.
Okay, back to battalion. Go, go.
We disabled them and pulled out. I figure there's maybe 40 or so Krauts still manning 3 MG-42s to their rear. I think we need artillery or maybe mortars might do the job.
These two, best friends. You need help? Here I come. Oh goddamn.
By nightfall, 2nd Battalion had secured Saint Marie du Mont. Most of the 101st Airborne, including Easy Company, were still scattered all over Normandy, and the success of the invasion was far from certain.
Thank you.
Isn't that an ammo box?
Yeah. You do what you can with what you got.
Yeah.
Hello, sir. Something dying here? Malarkey's hat.
Any word on Lieutenant Mean yet, sir?
No, not yet.
Don't that make you our commanding officer, sir?
Yeah, it does.
Sir.
Joe, the lieutenant don't drink.
Oh no, you know what?
After today, I will.
He is now in charge. Give me that.
Sergeant?
Sir.
I'm not a Quaker.
Keep it light. No time for grudges and stuff.
You know that map you found? That had every Kraut gun in Normandy on it.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. It's on your mind.
I lost a man today. He's a good man. Man. Not even old enough to buy a beer.
I sent that map up to division. I think it's gonna do some good.
Thanks, but I don't know how much that would help lift his spirits. Like, oh, it mattered in the end, like, it did some good, but some guy still died, and he was in charge, so he feels like it's on him. And he sent them over there, too. It's hard enough to lose people when you're a soldier. When you're a commander, you're the one that send these guys where
You're
they go.
responsible, basically.
You feel like, well, you're responsible.
That night, I took time to thank God for seeing me through that day of days, and prayed I would make it through D+1. And if somehow I managed to get home again, I promised God and myself that I would find a quiet piece of land someplace and spend the rest of my life in peace.
I hope he gets it. Still pretty sure he's the guy that tells the story in the beginning. Or one of the guys that tells the story. That gives me hope. Deserves it. They all deserve it.
Nice.
Well, they had good strategy.
Oof.
So one thing I will have to get used to is, like, I get so confused with all the names and all the faces. I'm usually good with faces, but it gets so hard because of all the dirt, all the action going on, all the explosions, the firing and stuff. I cannot recognize a single guy unless, like, it's one of the main ones whose name we hear a lot. Like Winters, I'm fine with him. I know who he is, it's okay. But
Yeah.
what it made me think of is that if I'm having trouble watching it, being in it must have been horrible. The confusion I asked about earlier, you know, how in the dark and stuff, like, how would you even recognize? Like, you gotta be careful, but you're already on, you know,
Enemy territory.
you're in enemy territory, you're stressed out, it's your first, you know, it's your first battle, everything is a first and stuff, like, you're freaking out, and you can't be trigger happy, you gotta be careful, because who's to say that the guy that's, you know, coming out of the bushes is not an ally or anything. Later on, when everyone is firing all over the place, even if it's not dark, they're probably having trouble also recognizing, like, who's who and stuff. I know they're good at calling out the names and stuff, but I'm just putting myself in their shoes, I would be freaking out. There's no cohesion, like, there's no order or anything. It's chaos all around. So kudos to all of them for keeping their head on their shoulders and just staying focused, because goddamn.
Did you have codes though to recognize each other? When, for example, when he said flash, they had to respond thunder.
That, yes,
To
in the dark
recognize
it helps.
their platoon, to recognize their infantry, or also the clicking sound to look to see if they could
But
recognize
still,
each other. But yeah,
I know they have that, but put yourself in their shoes. You can't hear shit because there's firing everywhere. You're freaking out because your best friend just got killed or something. You got shot. Who knows? Like, you're being fired at. Your life is on the line. You gotta, hear the clicking. I don't know, man. Yeah, no.
Yeah, no.
And on top of that, like, you're not free from making mistakes or other people making mistakes. The number of times they dropped a grenade in this episode, but it would happen. That's the thing. Like, everything that can go wrong will go wrong because you're not calm. Those who manage are heroes. Like, I look up to them and I'm like, how can they do it? Like, it's crazy. But you are so you're stressing out. Like, who's to say your hands are not gonna shake? You're handling these weapons. You're gonna drop them. Your hands are gonna get dirty, bloody, sweaty. You're gonna drop everything. And if you drop a grenade in that tight, closed space, you're gonna get hit. You're gonna get hit, and not just you, but the people with you. So yeah, honestly, I don't know how I would do in a situation like that. I'm freaking out playing the game.
Well, just like the game, like I said, sometimes when
you run around.
while I'm trying to do something like being stealthy, trying to hide myself and like shoot the enemy in the game. No. Sometimes I say, oh, fuck it, and I just run and take my luck with
Yeah,
me.
but you can do that in
that's
the game.
a video game. But we saw some people who did that just said, fuck it, I'm gonna run, take our chances, and don't let them time to just attack ourselves.
Sometimes you don't really have a choice. Other times you're just fucking reckless, man. Like that guy looking for that gun. That's a gun, right? The Lugal?
Yeah.
He's looking for it. We saw him last episode. He freaked out over it. You are putting your life on the line for a gun, man. You are really...
That's a really pretty gun.
Yeah, but... I mean, it's his life. He can do whatever he wants with it, but... He's still reckless as shit. And one thing you were talking about the game here. One thing I recognized that I thought about yesterday because I played yesterday.
Yeah.
And they mentioned it in this episode, so I'm gonna make the connection. Is I can't see shit. Yesterday I was like, fuck. Like every time I tried to aim at the enemy or anything, I would get blinded by leaves and trees and shit. I would
just dirt.
But the thing is, like, you're trying to be undercover, but if you're really well undercover, they can't see you, but you can't see them. So in order to shoot at them, you need to get yourself out of cover in order to shoot. If you can see them, they can see you. And sometimes they seem to be able to see you when you can see shit. You're like the guy in the tree. From the looks of it, he was pretty well covered, but he is still one giant shadow in a tree. They look up, they see him, he's done. He can't get down fast, and if he does, he'll break his neck. So you gotta make those decisions quickly. You gotta live with those decisions, and everything you do is gonna put you in danger. And most of the time, you won't see anything. It's a good thing. I mean, they're not gonna make it bright and poppy and pink and shit, but the coloring of the episode is so gray. That's usually what happens in war movies and stuff. It's so gray that I can't really distinguish the gray uniforms of the Germans and the greenish uniform of the Americans.
Yeah.
So or whoever. I think it's brownish or more brown for British, but still all the colors mix, and I don't think it's a coincidence that they do that. Like I know it's to set the tone and everything in those war movies or episodes, but to see it happen again here makes me think like, god damn, like I would get so confused. So yeah, like you would be calling the names. It's those guys that survive this, that manage to, find a strategy, stick to it, listen to orders, like they are fucking heroes. Because I don't know how I would do it.
You just said that the fact that it toned down the coloring for war movies or war TV shows, and you don't really can distinguish the two camp. It does tell you that most of the time we do have more in common than differences between the
do you want to talk about? Okay, you're moving on to this.
Yeah,
it's fucking sad
because I know that they are war prisoners. I know that. What's the term again? What's the term again?
Surrender.
Surrender. Thank you very much. I know that some of them surrendered and they still got killed.
Well, I'll just add in the guy who surrendered at the guns and they hit him. I'm like, in the midst of all the fighting, you're again freaking out. You're on edge. The enemy is right in front of you. You're about to shoot him, and he goes, "I surrender." you have to trust that he's not going to try to stab you in the back. He is a prisoner. He could, it could, that's it for him. Like, he's done. He's giving up because he doesn't want to die just as much as you don't want to die. But still, you're on edge. You probably saw some of your friends get killed. You don't know where your other friends are. Like, they were scattered all over the place. Most of the company is not even here right now. They don't know if they survived. The enemy is right there. And just like the guy, Bill, who found out his brother was dead, you're facing the guy and you're like, this is your fault. Your fault that we're here. Your fault that I'm freaking out, that I'm almost, that I almost got killed, or that I will almost get killed. Your fault that my friends are freaking out and almost getting killed, or, are dead. Mm-hmm. You gotta stop yourself from killing the guy because he just gave up. If you cannot stop yourself from shooting, if you cannot stop yourself from, if you don't listen to the surrender and you shoot still, that makes you an asshole, but then you gotta live with it. If you are able to stop it, you still gotta live with the idea that you just let one of the enemies survive. It puts you in it must give you, some wave of anger. So yeah, no fucking wonder they still hit them and shit, but they looking at these guys after, yes, some of them would probably, have a background that makes you wonder, like, would we have been on the same side had things been different? That's something like now. Some countries are fighting us, but in another war, maybe they were our allies. In another situation, maybe we came from the same town, we have things in common. These guys could have been friends. Like, not all, like, they were fighting the Germans, but not all Germans are assholes. Not all Germans are the enemy. Some of them managed to leave, others didn't, and others were called bad because their family is over there.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that guy, he didn't even say his name, right? Or he did, we don't remember.
No, he said he just said he came from the same Oregon.
Yeah, he came from Oregon, like a few miles from one other guy, and they could have known each other. They could have been friends. They came from the same country. He was born in the U.S.
Like, had things been a little bit different back home, they would have been friends. Maybe they would have mentors. But then stuff like that happens, and most of the time, and that's what sucks. No matter which side you're on, sometimes you're a real asshole. Sometimes you're a criminal and you do shit that fits your your state. Like, if you're the bad guy, sometimes it shows. But for most of these guys, they're just fighting because that's their job.
They were told to.
Like, if you're Jewish and stuff, you have some real reason to be there. Like, you connect with this war. You're here because you want to defend your family. That's one thing. But if you're German, the same kind of applies. You might not agree necessarily with what's going on. You might have grown up in a country that's now your enemy. You're fighting your friends. You're fighting the people you know. But it's your home country. It's your family. What are you gonna do? If you manage to to be like, fuck my family, I'm gonna stay with my country, good for you. But I can't imagine, like, having to... That's the thing, you either fight your friends or you fight your family. The choice is not easy, and these guys, like, they're just guys. They're doing their job, just like you. They were told, this is the enemy, you gotta shoot, you gotta defend your country. It's fucked up. It's always been fucked up. We talk about this all the time when we watch, war movies, or just fucking conflict. Everyone is the hero of their own story. If you put yourself in their shoes, if things had been a little bit different, in their eye, you're the enemy. They look at you and they think the same as when you look at them. Especially, like, those that were fucking brainwashed into believing that what they were fighting for was a good idea and a good thing.
Right thing to do for the nation.
But yeah, like, it's the beliefs of your family, but, like, right, it's easy to look back and be like, oh, wait, obviously you were wrong, but back in those days, it's not always easy. And, I mean, we're never safe from messing up.
You know what's surprisingly surprising, yeah. Being moved by an idea, like what happened back then.
It's so easy.
There have been people afterward who make tests to prove that it is easy.
Read the wave.
To get ripped in it and just follow the wave, like you said.
Read the wave.
And you don't see necessarily coming because it is done in a natural flow. So it's done smoothly and you just you just go easy on
It's
it.
brainwashing. That's the whole fucking point. You don't realize that you're missing up. And like for having seen movies and stuff that were made back in the day, propaganda worked. It was used for the Germans as much as for the Americans. Like we think about how they used propaganda to push the Americans to enlist, and how they made war look so great and necessary. And I mean, you gotta save people, so yeah, necessary to a point, but still, like, they glorified this so much that, yeah, of course, you're back home, you're thinking, this is great, I gotta do this. It's not as bad, maybe, as the brainwashing going on in Germany, but it's still some sort of brainwashing. Like, they're putting an idea in your head that this is amazing and this is gonna bring you stuff, when in fact it's just chaos and death and suffering. But they got to do this because they need people to go on the front. And when you turn it around and look at what was done in Germany, concentration camps were portrayed as a vacation type of camp for some people. There were videos made about how great of a time Jews would have in those camps. Not everyone knew what was going on. Some of them definitely were evil, knew what was going on, and enjoyed putting them through hell. But a lot of the population didn't have a clue what was going on, didn't understand what was being done, and they just agreed because that's what their leader was telling them. So they were like, yeah, great. Like, this is, of course, this is what we got to go for. But they don't understand what they're cheering, what they're supporting. And, like, I'm going to talk about Hitler here, but I remember in university, I studied some movies that were made on him back then for the Germans, and how everything was a tactic to make him appear great, like a god, like the ultimate leader, from the stuff that they show you to the shots that they take.
You will not follow someone who is despicable.
I know.
You need to follow someone that is easy to idolize.
I know, but like, it's crazy how much people would get manipulated by this. Like with cameras, for example, you can hide people who disagree. Like they would only show those who support, those who cheer. They would make it appear like, the some shots would make it appear like the crowd supporting him was a lot bigger than what it was, and then peer pressure becomes a thing, because if you believe everyone is supporting the guy, you're like, oh well, he's gotta have something going for him if they're supporting him, so you support him too. But shots of him from in English I don't remember, but
yeah, I know what you mean.
Shots of him from below that make him appear bigger than what he was, because he was short. That's another thing.
Was short.
Making him look bigger, stronger, more appealing than what he really was. Just, it's all tactics to brainwash and manipulate the people in Germany and make them believe that fighting for this guy was the thing to do.
Do you recall the Hitler's youth?
Yeah. Fucking being
like
raised, being told that,
the training camp in the mountains with children to prepare them for the war. They make them strong, they make them healthy, so when they go to the front, they're gonna be the best of the best.
Or just, like, if you watch Jojo Rabbit,
it is about the Hitler's youth.
Yeah, and just thinking about how most of these kids and stuff were being told that the Jews were the monsters, and how they were evil in their eye, and just drawings of them, just depictions of them. Like, it's brainwashing. So then when you're fighting here, we're supporting the Americans, we're supporting our easy company, of course we're going to cheer for them. But we're facing the enemy, and we see them freak out just as much as we are. Some of them we connect with because they come from the same town as our guys.
Well, it's easy to kill an enemy if in your eyes it's a monster, it's like someone below dirt.
When you start
when you think that these guys, they got families, they got wives, they got kids. They are scared just like me. They just want to survive. They don't want to die.
But I believe
it's the same thing.
But the worst is, like, now we can think about it. Now we can talk about this and be like, the true horror of this was that it was basically people who had nothing to do with this war, but they still had to fight for something that they might not understand, or something that they had no connections with. Like, I'm going to bring back the game again, but if you have not played Call of Duty World War II, you don't know, but there's a character in there whose family is Jewish and German. He's both. How do you fucking feel when half your family is fighting the other half of your family?
Well, a lot of Jews were German also.
No, but like, sometimes you say like,
No.
oh, you're a Jew, so of course you're against the German, but if you're literally both, and you really think about that, what it means to be both and having those two sides fighting each other, it's horrible. It sucks. But then that's us today thinking about that back then. If we put ourselves in their shoes and think about how it was then, you can't think about that. No fucking way you can think about that, because you can't look at the enemy and see a human being. You gotta evilize them. You gotta see them as monsters, because otherwise you won't be able to shoot them.
True.
And that's if you manage to think at all, because like in the midst of all of this, I'm just like, gun, shoot. That's it.
Well, there was a guy who asked Winter to join his troop, but he was a jeep driver. He wasn't able to focus
Aim.
to aim.
But that's the thing, like that's why I was like, oh god, like that's gotta be more difficult. If two companies or two teams or whatever like end up fighting together, the calls are not the same, the training is not the same, the experience is not the same, so the camaraderie is not gonna necessarily be there. You won't necessarily understand what's going on, who's who. You're gonna be like, you're not necessarily gonna count this other guy as a part of your team. You're gonna end up. The thing is, you gotta be united. The whole thing about Kurahi last episode, I was like, why is the motto "we stand alone"? I was like, we gotta stand together, no? But I actually read on it, and "we stand alone" that's the actual motto of the company. Or I'm sorry if I'm messing up the terms, but it's their motto, because we stand together is still the general vibe, but when they say we stand alone, it's because they are alone, because they are one.
Ah.
So it's alone but together.
There are not multiple guys, there are one unit.
They're not together, they're together,
Yeah.
one. So that's why Kurahi was still being told and stuff. So that's actually pretty good.
That's pretty cool.
But when you're together and there's one guy who shows up who's not with you,
When they're together and there's one guy that shows up,
he gets
it
singled
gets
out.
ripped off.
So it would be difficult to adapt, but still like, and they were kids. That's the thing. Like they're fucking young. They gotta fall in line. They gotta follow these guys that they don't know. And if you're the one in charge and these guys get killed, not only were they not necessarily a part of your company, but they chose to follow you. They chose to, to be a part of your group and follow your command, and they get killed. This is on you. The amount of guilt after, because meanwhile, like you're seeing this and you gotta move on, but after that you gotta keep living, remembering that you told this guy to go there and he got killed. I know deep down, like I do know this is not their fault. This is mayhem. Everyone gets killed. This is how it is. But accidents happen. Like put yourself in the shoes of the guy who drops a fucking grenade and it gets people killed.
Well, the first time it was the Germans who threw the grenade, right? Second time he messed up.
No, but still, just put yourself in the shoes of a guy who drops a grenade, and it gets someone killed.
He was very lucky that time.
Or like you're the one who's like, okay, like I gotta make the decisions, I gotta choose what we do. First, and I will say it again, like the strategies they came up with, fucking great.
Well, we said in the first time that Winter has a good head on his shoulder. Yeah. He's good at being calm and to make good decision on the spot.
Yeah. But it's great if it goes well.
It came in handy.
If things go according to plan, that's great. You get rewards.
Nothing will go according to plan. Never.
His plan succeeded. They managed.
Succeeded, but usually you need to be prepared for the plan to crash and to improvise on the spot and to make a plan B.
But the thing is,
plan D.
Once everyone has gone their own way, like you can be like, okay, first plan this, and then if you mess up this, like you won't get to remember. You got to tell them the plan and hope it works. And if it doesn't work, you can improvise. But those guys are already on their way to follow plan A. Everything has to go according to plan. If it does, if everything works out, you get rewards, you get medals. This is great, and people cheer. If it goes to shit, they blame you. And like you're never safe from being judged by your own men in times of when people freak out, which is why I love that in the end he got to make up a little bit with Winters. What's his name? Garnier. Yeah. Anyway, Bill. I know he was on edge. He was pissed. His brother was killed and stuff. Like, But still, you gotta follow the rules. You gotta listen. And if the guy is like, dude, he didn't insult him or judge him or anything to his face per se, but he still heard him. But calling him like a Quaker and stuff because the guy to you didn't want to act, like, who's to say he wasn't going to shoot at one point? He just said to wait for his order. You gotta listen. You got it. In this fucking mess, you need order, or else it's all going to go to shit. And now that he's in charge, like, it's even more important for you to listen.
Yeah.
But yeah, you would be like, you want to kill those guys, like they killed your brother. For you, it's personal, and if your commanding officer is not telling you to shoot, and you decide to take things into your own hand, of course you're gonna be mad. Like, you messed up, but you're gonna put that on him.
Well, technically, in your head, you didn't messed up. Like, you needed to act, so you did, but there might have been a reason for your commander to ask you to wait his command.
But at least, like, I love that anyone would have been, forgiven for blowing a fuse and being like, dude, I told you to fucking wait. Like, the guy is supposed to follow you and he didn't listen. I love that Winters managed to stay calm and he left that for later because it's not the time, even though it could get you killed.
Yeah.
And he heard him call him a Quaker. He heard him insult him, and he still, it's not, you don't have time for personal grudges right now.
Battlefield isn't a place to let loose of your emotion or to just be overwhelmed by them. Yes, it's gonna be difficult because adrenaline runs high, your friends can get hurt, you can get killed, but you need to keep a clear head.
Hell, like, if the guy is in a dire position and you need to save him and stuff, like, are you gonna be like, just like, sucks to be him and not help? Like, no, you gotta let that at home, focus on the job, and then after, you go up to him and you make a joke of it, and if the guy can move on, you can move on too. You gotta move on because these guys are gonna fight together again and again and again. You gotta count on each other. God damn, it's full of stress. It's freaking me out. Okay.
But that's what I said. In a war movie or just like TV show or even a video game, you're always gonna be on it because the guy that you root for, they always risk to end up being killed. You're always stressed on your seat. What's gonna happen next?
That's kind of why I was thinking in the episode, like, we're not discussing or commenting as much as we usually do.
No, because we're just
everything is just freaking us out. Like, everything is happening at the same time, and we're just like, fuck. That's not much for commentary, but then it makes us have great discussions, so intense discussions, so. Oh, God. Okay. That's it for episode 2, I guess.
Do you remember some of the names now? I remember
those I remember died.
I remember Gurney.
Yeah,
Hal died.
I call him Bill, but now I know that's him, so that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's gonna be easy. But that's pretty much it. Buck, I know his face. I know the actor, so that's gonna be easy too. Hull was the one I was like, oh, okay, finally someone I will recognize.
And he died.
But yeah, no, it will. It might take me the whole fucking season, guys. Like, I'm sorry if I get mixed up with the names. I'm gonna do my best, but
it took me 84 years, but now remember the names.
But like, the more they'll call them, the more like we'll see them, the more easy it's gonna be. But we'll see where it goes. But yeah, that was only episode 2. Like, give me a chance to remember. So that's pretty much it for this. Thank you guys so much for watching this episode with us. If you want to see the next 2 episodes right away, they are on Patreon already. You can check them out. The link is in the description below.
And if you don't want to, the next one will be out on YouTube next week, guys. So, I'm gonna see you then.
Bye.